Hello, I'm Sophie Lucassen,
And I'm Victor de Meij.
and today we're here to talk about creative and effective communication within groups.
Well, first of all, we start with open meetings. It is easier to communicate your passion and how you feel to your team via open meetings. In this kind of forum, they will not only hear what you are saying, they will also see and feel it. This approach still remains one of the best approaches to communicative effective within every team.
The second one is emails. In official settings, communication via email remains potent. It will be for you to pass messages to members of your team without pulling them out of their work situations.
Third one we have is one-on-one. Experts have been able to prove that some people understand better when you take them aside and talk to them on a one-on-one basis. Ensure that you maintain eye contact with them to enable the message to sink in.
The fourth one is to create a receptive atmosphere. To effectively communicate with your team, you must create a receptive atmosphere. Avoid a tense environment at all costs because you can communicate in an overly intense manner if you do. The message you are trying to share might not be well understood or retained.
The fifth one we have is communication via training. Your training should be tailored towards communicating certain information to your team members. Most employees take training seriously, especially when it's part of their appraises.
Display confidence and seriousness. Ensure that you display confidence and seriousness to ensure that you will not be taken for granted. When your team members notice that any uncertainty and lack of seriousness when you're communicating with them, they're likely to treat the information with disdain or disregard.
Seventh one is use simple words. The truth is that everybody cannot be on the same page when it comes to vocabulary. Therefore, to be effective in your communication with your team members, use words that can easily understood. When ambiguous words are used, you can be misunderstood and or waste precious time having to explain yourself.
The eighth tip we have is to use visuals. Place visuals at a strategic position around the workstation of your team. They should not just hear the message, but they should also see it. This gives room for better comprehension.
Now one we have is listen to your team members. Communication is intended to be a two-way street. Don't just talk because you are the leader without listening to anyone else. Encourage them to open up so you can be well guided when communicating in the future with them. You have two ears and one mouth, so you must listen more than you speak.
Use body language. Your body language will pass your message faster and better. Master the art of using body language when communicating with your team. Stand and sit up straight. Use smiles, handshakes, and eye contact.
11. Act out your message. Someone once said, "Tell me what you want me to do, and I might forget it, but do it in front of me, and I will never forget it." Acting out your message is a very potent way of communicating with your team. Let them see you do what you want them to do, and watch their excuses disappear.
12. Use the appropriate tone of voice. One word can mean a different thing when said in a different tone of voice. Make sure you use the appropriate tone of voice to communicate your message to your team so that you won't be misunderstood and discourage or demotivate members or cause them to shut down completely out of fear.
Avoid unnecessary repetition. If you want your team members to take you serious, never sound like a broken record and don't beat a dead horse. Tell your team members what you want them to know or do and ask them if they want to be clear about it. If they are not, only then you repeat what you have said.
Number 14. Use presentations. Some people grasp messages easily when pictures and sounds are involved. Using presentations like Microsoft PowerPoint to communicate with your team will give them the opportunity to refer back to it if they aren't clear or certain about things.
15, and I think this one is the most important one, be humorous. Using friendly jokes when communicating with your team members will help pass your messages along in a more relaxed way. This method of communication has been proven to be a highly effective way of dousing tension. When the atmosphere is unfriendly and intense, being humorous does its trick. If you must use jokes, please don't overdo it. Remember, you are not a stand-up comedian.
These were our 15 tips for a better communicative workplace. Thank you for listening. These were Sophie, Lucasse, and
Victor May.